And my third guy, I feel like J-Dub definitely is getting the stock down a little bit just because.
Dude, he's been balling.
I think J-Dub.
You're just picking all-stars.
Well, I mean, because like stock, like as a role player, I think it's different. I think as a role player, like KCP, yeah, he's playing like shit this year. His stock's down, but Orlando's ass. You know what I'm saying? I think for these three guys, like stock down, stock up really matters. Like for J-Dub, I think he made the All-Star game.
I probably just had 20 on 100% field goal.
Yeah, I don't care.
7 for 7. Stop.
Yeah.
7 for 7. 100%.
No, he was. They played Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
Mason Plumlee, right? Yeah.
We praised Jokic for 30, 20, and 20. But
You did. I didn't say anything about the game.
7 for 7.
I'll say this. Your three guys.
Well, I didn't finish.
No, they're not.
You're talking about J-Dub.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, Johnson, that is crazy.
I don't think so. Like he made the All-Star game, right? But we all sat here and said we don't know if he was an All-Star this year legitimately. And he did play well the other day, but I just feel like every time there's a big game, there's a big moment. You look at the box score, you watch the game, you think, yeah, SJ did his thing, or SJ showed up. And then you look at J-Dub and you're like, I feel like he left a lot on the table. You know,
I can understand that.
In the game versus the Nuggets, though, when SGA and him when SGA and Jokic
J-Dub played great.
In the second half, he was one of the main reasons they were able to pull away.
But I feel like this year I've seen him more or less in big time games. I don't think he's
like most of the season. You don't view him in the same way you viewed him last year.
Nah, like or especially this summer. Like this summer, we definitely expected him to take a massive leap. You know, and I don't think he's taking a massive leap. I think he's taking a semi-okay leap. I think he still has ways to go as a ball handler, as a secondary creator, you know, as a passer. I think defensively, that's where he really makes his money. And in the mid-range, he's a really versatile defender, a guy who can, you know, at spurts anchor the 5 and go to the 4, be the 3, be the 2. You know, but I still think there's still something we're waiting for in J-Dub to take that big leap. Like SGA I feel like has taken another leap in his game. I still think we're waiting for that on J-Dub.
Let me say this. I'm not going to agree with you. I think that post All-Star break, he has been dominant. He's shooting 44% from 3. He's shooting 48% from the field. And that's on 6 attempts from 3 as well. I think that Chet Holmgren being back obviously is a big part as to why he's been successful on the offensive side. Obviously less attention being put towards him. I think that your point about him in big games, it's valid. It is fair. I've seen him for a majority of this season have to be the number 2. This is in year 3 also. Let's keep that in mind. This is year 3. He still was an all-star, albeit were there some that could have been in conversation to be in his position? Yeah, that's definitely a point to be made, but he also is the number 2 on the best team in the Western Conference. He is, before the All-Star break, still a pretty efficient basketball player, 45% from the field, 36% from 3, could be a percent off on the field goal percentage. Still giving you 22 a night. But post All-Star break, he's been locked in. So that's the only reason why I go and I really want to push back on that.
I'm talking about the totality of the season, not 11 games out the season.
Agreed with you, but again, prior to the All-Star break, he still was
playing
good basketball player.
He was playing good.
I wouldn't call it stock down,
Stock
though.
just might be even.
I mean, like, we expected J-Dub to take a leap, right? We expected J-Dub to walk into a different tier.
We expected Chet to be healthy.
But I think we still view J-Dub in the same way we view him last year.
I think when the playoffs ended last year and where we stand right now, I don't think there's much of a difference in J-Dub one way or the other.
I think that's the problem.
Until the playoffs come around, though, I don't think he could really do much.
But you're thinking of it as stock down is just him going from where he was last year to this year. You just admitted you view him the same as you did coming off last year. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's a step down because we're not supposed to view him in the same way we view him last year, especially as a young player. You're on one of the best teams in the league. You're supposed to ascend to another level.
It's the offense that you think about, but we can't. We never. When do we really talk about J-Dub's defense?
Let me ask you something.
Like his defense is some of the best in the league.
But I don't think that. But I don't think we
for being a premier scorer, he is one of the best defenders.
He's one of the best two-way players in the league.
Well, you kind of changed the.
No, agree. Yeah, but even regardless, he is still one of the better perimeter defenders.
So let me ask you something. He
is pretty good. I ain't gonna disrespect him.
If you put in $100 into the J-Dub stock last year, what number would it be at right now?
You'd probably be at like 115.
I was gonna say 108.
I was kind of gonna go 103.
We view Chet, even though he didn't play this much, we view Chet differently to how we view him last year. Right now.
Well, I think the only thing with Chet is the injuries.
That's what I'm saying. But in terms of just him on the court, what we've seen on the court, we view him differently to how we viewed him last year.
I don't know if I feel that way.
I feel a lot better about
I
Chet today
do.
than I do
Yeah,
last
like
year.
Chet has been
that's what I'm saying. I feel
elite
like
this
with
year.
J-Dub,
Defense,
it's not the
he
same
was
way.
amazing last year.
Yeah, but this
The
year the
offense.
offense is leap that he's
Offensively,
taking.
he's looked better this year than
Initiating the
last
playmaking.
It's not a consistent night in, night out thing, though.
It
It
has
pretty
not
much
in the game.
is, though.
But to start the year, he got
No,
hurt.
but
He's
but
still,
even Del,
he's still coming back.
It was the 3-game start that he had that had everybody with it in their hand, like, oh my God, we're getting this Chet breakout. And then he kind of went back to the teen scoring, which is fine because he provides you all NBA defense. But then he got hurt. Obviously, we miss him for a good portion of the season, but his offensive scoring output, it varies.
Yeah, we're also talking about 11 games since he's been back.
100%. But
like
in
a
those 11 games,
2-3 month
that's where we've
injury.
seen J-Dub really take another step offensively.
Yeah, I know, but like in those 11 games, Chet's minutes, sometimes they face bad teams and they're not playing him
makes
that
sense,
much. And,
100%.
you know, like how many games since he's been back has he played over 30
but that's
minutes?
why I say that. And I'm not here to shit on Chet. I just mean so it's not been enough of a sample for me to be like, offensively, I know he's 30 times better than he was last year because there were moments last year where he flashed like he did this season. It's just it's just not been available for me this year.
Yeah, I get it. It's also, not to say it again, but the idea of Chet is just, the idea of Chet to me is so much better than J-Dub,
I understand
too.
that.
So the fact that he's staying on par, or I think offensively he's been better, is a,
He's a
trend
7-2
up.
demigod. I understand. I get it. It's just it's a little I don't want to call it inconsistent, but night to night it varies, which is a synonym for inconsistent.
Yeah, he just hasn't been like healthy. So you know,
Facts.
but I get what Riv is saying though, because like just watching Chet on the court, I know the numbers don't back it up thoroughly, but like I do feel like I've watched an improved player.
No, his eye test will always sing.
Like I think that from just watching him, I'm like, okay, I think I believe in his long-term upside a lot more than I do like J-Dub's. Like
That's why they were
I
my
think, has
duo.
upside.
The defense that Chet brings you is beautiful. I mean, his and also the spacing that he provides you at that size.
Yeah.
is
Ideally, you
insane.
keep all
But
three
even
of these
offensively,
guys.
especially in the Brooklyn game, I think this is where it flashed the most. The Giannis without SGA, since Chet has been back, they have been steady.
That's true.
And he has been manning those, and he's been a great connector for them. So that's where I feel like I can understand what you're saying about J-Dub. I don't know if like his stock fell, but I don't think it rose that much. Like if I put money into his stock last year, I'm kind of disappointed at how much has grown in a year.
Riv, and let me say to you, of your 3 guys that you had your stock down.
Well, to be fair, he's been less efficient. I had to double check, make sure I wasn't tweaking. He's been less efficient from everywhere on the floor this year as he was last year. So the numbers may look like what he's doing is still
I know his
fine.
3-point percentages went down.
His 3-point percentage has dropped tremendously.
It went from 43 last year?
Well,
yeah,
from the
but that's
corner,
what
he
kinda
went
we
from
expected.
58 to 18.
43?
We expected at least 38% or more.
Okay, and since the
Drew.
post-All-Star break, he's at like 42,
Drew,
43.
This year, from the corner.
I think it's 44 actually post-All-Star
From the
break.
corner, he's 38%, 38%
That's good.
this year. Last year, he was at 58% and 42%.
But can we also understand that that's a bit unsustainable?
Yeah, what's the above the break 3? Or
35 now. It was at 41 last year.
That's a difference, and I understand
That's a
that.
drop-off.
But again, the looks are different.
Rim, 70%. This year, 66%.
Still great.
4% drop off.
The
That's
paint.
without chat, with chat.
Paint, the non-restricted area. 48% to 44%. To go layups, just layups. Where is it at? I have it. Last year, he was 59%. This year,
Well, the allure with
he
J-Dub
is
last year was like
53%.
you're getting a
he's just dropped as an
50-40
efficient
player
scorer.
that can handle and playmaking, can defend. And this year, he hasn't been like the 50-40 player. Well, really the 40% from 3. So I can understand how
it's
like
just
that is
the
dropping.
On drives
11
last year,
games.
51%.
No,
This year,
he was an
45.
elite finisher last year. It's with the 11 games that we've seen Chet, J-Dub has been the J-Dub of last year. So I'm not going to ignore that where last year, Riv, I'm not going to say what you're saying is all wrong. Obviously, the numbers are down. But again, that's with Chet. And with Chet, we're seeing that version again.
But
I
last
think-
year, didn't we kind of think that J-Dub
Was supposed to be
might
number
have been just as good to like lead his own team?
I wasn't saying that over
I
Chet.
wasn't saying that either.
Like he had the potential to do that. Like
I actually
let's
was
say,
saying let's pump the brakes on him because people were trying to say he was better than JB.
like if you switch like J-Dub and Paolo's situation, like this was a conversation last year. It was like, could J-Dub do something similar?
yeah, that was rude.
I wasn't buying into that.
So like, but that was a conversation around J-Dub last year, and I think this year it's kind of like, Well, he's not a first option. He's not a second option. He's more of a third option.
Yeah, and he'd be the best third option in the league.
Yeah.
And, like
Last year, he
Almost
was
every
definitely
team.
getting second option talks.
He was.
yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
he was
this is
second
a
option.
Like
super young player
top
that's
of the tier,
putting out
second option
50-40
talks.
type efficiency on the best team in the West. Like I
yeah.
don't think it's crazy to put in that conversation.
I also
At the
think
time.
again, some of the numbers that you listed there are pretty unsustainable for a career.
Yeah, I mean, if he does that for his career, he'd
Hall
be the
of
best.
Famer.
He could be the best fucking Robin in the league.
Literally a Hall of Famer. That's Hall of Fame efficiency.
It's not hard to be Hall of Fame, to be fair.
Well, no, it can't.
I mean, there's more guys not in the Hall of Fame than in the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? Like a lot more.
Not that hard. He get about 6 All-Stars. He got one already.
Joe
About 2
Johnson.
NBAs. He can get in there, man.
So that's what I was going to say. Of your 3 stock down players, Scotty, you're cooking. You're one. That is an amazing answer, actually.
Yeah, that's something I'm not looking at. Like, I'm not looking at that stock at all.
No, I'm not.
I don't
I'm not.
touch it.
That's one of those that my money's been put in for years now. Oh damn, it's taking a dip.
I'm not pulling out.
I might consider buying the dip a little bit,
Okay.
but I'm leaving it. Alperen Sengun, that was kind of a little bit bigger brain. Like I think you took the huge leap with J-Dub.
I don't.
But with
the way he was
Sengun-
talked last year, I really don't.
I think
I
J-Dub's
don't
been
think
fine.
I don't think his stock's down. It's not up. To me, it's even.
I
And
think
Sengun just went from not all-star to all-star. So if anything, his stock is up. It's just that who people thought he was coming into the season, maybe he got
But
overrated.
I also think
They aren't
for
a big fan of your investments.
I think for a young player, Rav, you could
no,
also cut
Scotty
him a little
Barnes
Of your
slack.
shorts.
Huh?
I think for a young player, you could also cut him a little slack. Like I know
mean-
you want to see improvement year over year, but not every year are you going to see just
Linear
incremental
and
improvement.
fast.
well,
It's
stock
gonna-
market is really more for the young players. If you really think about it, like it's for the young players.
Would you not invest on J-Dub?
Nah, yeah, it's still an investment, but I'm looking like y'all gotta.
He's
like,
looking at it from last year to this
last
year.
year to this year. Last year, I don't know where y'all were at last year, but he was getting second
He was
option
getting,
top. I
bro,
don't
we
know.
have a
He
would
was
you
getting
rather
top 20
of
talks.
you might have, I don't know who took
I
J-Dub.
remember it. You guys did.
Oh, no.
Over Jalen Brown, over Brandon
He was getting
Ingram.
top 20
Y'all were getting
talks.
nasty.
So you don't think
I
J-Dub's
don't know
better
why
than
we
Brandon
forget
He's
that.
better than Brandon Ingram. He's not better than Jalen Brown. He
Yeah,
never
but
was.
we can't just forget that. That's what I'm saying. Like
Y'all were saying he was better than
getting top
Desmond
20
Bain. He
talks.
probably is better than Desmond Bain now.
Let's incriminate ourselves.
Because I remember,
see what the
I'm
answers
pretty sure
were.
I was the one asking the questions.
So, Riv, this is gonna solidify whether or not this was valid.
I feel like Dallas was speaking. That's why he's so
I
quiet right
think
now.
Dallas was chatting.
I think
Dallas was chatting.
If you
Okay.
took him over Jalen Brown, we're done.
Okay, let's go.
I understand the. But let's do a would you rather. Jalen Williams.
I was asking a
edition,
question. Memory
J-Dub,
stop.
for those that don't get confused. First name up, Jalen Brown.
I'm still going with Jalen Brown, but I understand the conversation. J-Dub is
Undab
23
me.
years old, elite
Nope.
both ways, and he's gotten a lot better offensively this year.
I'm gonna go J-Dub. I'm gonna
Oh
go
my
J-Dub.
God.
He's far more advanced.
We know where I
when
stand
Jalen Brown
with
was
it.
22,
His game is
J-Dub was
smoother.
22.
So you
Game
overrate him.
is
That's on us?
Well, he
but
just said he
but this is
understood the
also-
conversation.
This is also his stock report, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Wait, but he just said I understood. So he understood what I was talking
No,
about.
and I said undab me.
Oh, so it wasn't over.
Okay,
He knew what I was saying.
let's keep watching. Let's keep watching.
There's
And
a lot
listen.
of room to grow.
Better handle.
I'm not seeing.
Like,
I
you're
just think
so
Jalen
fucking
Brown. No, I do. I
superficial,
think
man.
Jalen Brown has improved tremendously,
Yes.
but I think J Dub is probably going to be better than him. So I'm gonna go J Dub.
Yeah, I'm going Jalen Williams as well. He's one of the smoothest players in the league, man.
It's a clearing.
No, it's not a clearing.
Because a lot of people in my
think
comments
it's a
today were
clearing.
telling me it was a clearing.
think
No,
no-
In
Told
your
you.
comments for telling
tried
you
to
this-
tell
Because
you.
I said Jalen Brown's better. And
I
they were
tried
saying
to-
in my comments, they were trying to tell me that J-Dub is
well,
better.
that's the conversation that J-Dub was in last year.
and it was
though.
stupid.
And I just told
But
you
this
that.
is
You
also
said it
this is
wasn't
also
there.
before Jalen Brown goes on a finals run. This
Yeah,
is
'cause
before
they
he
didn't
wins
see the
finals
vision.
Okay, let's
MVP.
keep going.
He's projecting.
Which
It's
is
not a clearing. Right now, Jalen Brown's a better player. I think Jalen Williams will be the better player. It won't take long for him to get there.
I'm
take
going to
long.
take Jalen Brown, but I understand your guys'
Not
logic.
take
Not
long.
shocking at all. Next name, Brandon Ingram.
Jalen Williams.
J Dub. Just once again, same thing with Jalen Brown. J Dub's more advanced at his age. I just think he'll be a better player than these guys.
All right, next name, Scotty Barnes. I'm going to take Scotty personally.
This was close. I don't think Scotty could be a number one.
So you're taking Scotty over
I don't
Jalen
know
Brown?
if J-Dub could be a number one.
That's what I'm saying. But Scotty's
You're
in the
not?
number one role right now, so it kind of looks
Yeah,
funny.
because
so-
like you got Siakam there, but SGA's taking on more than Siakam was.
But I think Jalen Williams could fit better into a number 2-3 role than Scotty.
I agree with
that's
that.
I think I'm gonna go J Dub here.
I probably lean J-Dub.
I would lean J-Dub too.
All right, Tobias Harris.
Oh, we dropped to the fucking bottom of the
Tobias
bale
been great.
too.
DeMar DeRozan.
J Dub.
Jalen
What the fuck are
Williams.
we doing?
I'm naming small forwards.
We need difficult. More
34.
difficult.
This is the Desmond Bain.
Ooh.
Desmond Bain right now.
I would go J-Dub
That's
personally.
interesting.
Actually, now.
Yeah,
Hold
'cause
on.
if you
taking
take Jalen,
J-Dub.
if
Good
you
on
take
me.
Jalen Brown,
That's
you
true.
can't
That's
take
true.
Desmond Bain.
That's true. That's true.
I'll take
Y'all
J-Dub.
right. Y'all right. I'll take Jalen Williams.
Chris Middleton.
It's not even a
Jalen
thought
Williams.
process. I'm not gonna answer.
Keegan Murray.
J-Dub.
J Dub.
Jalen Williams.
All right, that's really it. But
You
let's
saying?
do would you
I'm saying
I mean,
stunk.
Jalen Brown was really the only one that's
Towards
fake
the end,
crazy.
yeah.
I wasn't trying to get too nuts.
No, but
A lot
like
of small fours. Then I'm thinking about it.
no, but not like the conversation around J Dub. We don't gotta lie, bro. The conversation around J Dub was crazy.
I know.
It was.
Yeah. So based off how he viewed it from last year to this year,
He was the one
It's
overrating
down.
him.
That's a fact.
not he wasn't the only person. There was a viral tweet that
Okay,
said
but
that
I
he
don't
was a top
care
20
about.
player.
Here's the thing. When I don't care about outside, when we're talking about us, when we're talking about us, all I care about is what he said.
But I'm sure Riv is putting together his thoughts and also what the public opinion was on J Dub last year to this year.
But after this, again, I gotta open my mind. I can admit that. But I remember after the Dallas series being very vocal about J Dub is the main reason why the Oklahoma City Thunder are not celebrating moving on to the next round. Jalen Williams failed to meet the mark that was his regular season level. And actually so much so to the point where he didn't even meet it, where he could just stay at that regular season level. No, he was a lot worse than that, and that's one of the main reasons they lost. And that we need to stop putting such an expectation on a year or two player. I remember saying that very
I
vividly.
mean, that could be true, but J Dub, I mean, I feel like that was consensus opinion after the playoff performance because he wasn't exceptional in playoffs.
So
But
agreed.
in the regular season and what he was doing in the regular
So
season,
when you combine the two, it should be where we're at right now.
but we believe, at least I don't know if you believe this, but we believe that J Dub was more his regular season self. Like what he is more so what the regular season was versus the playoffs.
I think the regular season, again, like I'm saying right now, it was an amazing, uber efficient, unsustainable season.
Like I think where you're getting mixed up is that I don't think this is like Rivs having him as a stock down is not.
Do you
where-
think he's stocked down?
I think
Because you're defending it a lot.
I think I'm kind of more with Dell's where I think it's like evening out. But I could see what he's saying
he
because
just made an all-star.
the efficiency, yeah, but that was an all-star game that people criticize a lot. He wasn't the most deserving guy. Like
Who should have made it over?
I think
didn't
it,
even
I
have
think
him
if
in your
Kyrie
J-Dub
Irving should have made it over him.
Who?
Kyrie Irving.
I'd
100%.
be cool with that. I think if J Dub was older, it'd be more concerning. Like I think if J Dub was entering like his age 27 season last year, and it's like, oh shit, this is about to be prime J Dub. He's taking a leap, and then age 28, it's like, oh, he's kind of doing the same thing. The fact that he's still so young,
Stop
I'm
down
not,
don't
I'm
mean
not,
I'm forever giving up.
So
on
let
I'm
me
him.
not
ask
saying
you,
that. I
Dell's,
just think that I wouldn't classify.
Wait,
him
so
as
this
stocked
year,
down.
Dell's, can you hear the conversation with Jalen Brown and J Dub?
I think what Jalen Brown showed in the playoffs last year, you can't.
So you can't. So I mean, last year you could, and then this year you can't.
Yeah, but again, timing. Last year we're coming off the Miami Heat series, and that's the last time we saw Jalen Brown in the playoffs. This was before he goes on a ECF MVP run, a Finals MVP run. He locks up Luka Doncic. Like a lot happened between that video and the NBA Finals.
It's a
You know what I
fact.
mean?
No, I'm sure, but I
That
feel
was
like
more Jalen Brown leveling up more than anything.
yeah, but I think what his thing was that he expected J Dub to take a lead.
But if J Dub was having a much better year this year, you would be able to do it because Jalen Brown's having a down year.
J Dub would still be doing the playoffs.
That's actually
Yeah, but I'm saying
that's
you would still
true.
have a better argument because now J Dub is outplaying him. But
JB
you
having a
can't.
down year and J Dub not being in the conversation kind of does show
Well,
that
here's the
J
thing.
Dub hasn't taken a lead.
Okay, maybe he should be in the conversation. If Jalen Brown continues to play the way he's playing this regular season, he's super inefficient. We know the defense is still going to be there, but offensively, he could struggle at times, and the ball handling maybe regresses. And J-Dub goes out there and is an efficient 20 per game, and they go to the finals. Yeah, like I think that's fine to still do. I just think right now, I still think Jalen Brown can have a better postseason, at least shooting-wise, than what he's shown this regular
And
season.
I'll give you a bigger sample size because 10 games is 10 games. In the 2025 year, he's still averaging 21 points a game, 5 and 5, 2 steals on 57% true shooting, 37% from 3, 48% from the field. Like that is still good. And that is a way bigger sample size than just the 10 games.
Well, in January, he shot 32% from the three-point line.
I gave you 30 games.
Well, yeah, I have it split up in 3 months.
I gave you
the
30 games.
bigger data sets more,
Well, yeah, because
Instead of the 10 games that he's overly dominant, I gave you even a month that he didn't shoot the best.
The fact that he's
there was
shooting,
another month
I
he
mein,
didn't shoot the best.
The fact that he's
Exactly.
shooting 37% from 3, but shot 32% in
Exactly.
January.
But
he's turning
I
around.
don't think that it's that he's not good. We know he's good. It's just that we thought he'd be a little bit better.
I think 30 again. 44%.
I mean, I'll put it like this: he has
from
3 months
threes.
where he shot below 35% from the three-point line, and then he has 2 months where he shot 40, which is this month included, and then he has 1 month where he shot above average. So he's literally been, from the 3-point line we're just talking about right now, an up and down player. Where it's a month where he's shooting like shit, another month where, so he's a hot and cold type
Like
of player.
I feel like it's very fair to say that this year, the non-SGA minutes with J-Dub on the court leading the lineup have been very disappointing.
I mean, but recently J-Dub's been incredible.
When Chet has come back,
But I just
but
gave you
he's the
30
second.
games.
He's the second guy.
But I just gave you 30
But I'm saying
games.
with Chet out, when J-Dub was leading those lineups, they were very disappointing.
I mean, to be fair, J-Dub, like, we're counting on this dude who's like 23 to be the second or arguably third best player.
year
Your best
3.
player's out.
well, it's not even that. We're just counting on him to not have.
Dells, I'll be honest with you. OKC is the number 1 seed in the West.
They are.
He's a big part of that too.
I agree.
Yeah.
But like when you I don't know, you're saying that and it's funny to me because you should know better than anybody. Even if you are young, when you get this amount of success this fast, it's not just he's this young.
But I'm not expecting when
If he was
SGA's
playing
out the
mid, though,
lineup,
I'd
I'm not
agree.
I'm not saying he's playing
expecting,
mid,
not
though.
expecting J-Dub to go out there and lead a top 10 unit. Like I'm expecting them to
that's
struggle.
not
Well,
the
then I
argument.
think
The
they're like a
argument
bottom
is not
5
where
unit.
the argument is not we're not expecting him to lead a top 10 unit. The argument is that when he's been out there before Chess returned, they were
Well, you're arguing
negative in
this
point
like you think
differential.
his
I
stock
would,
is
I would
down.
expect that team to struggle with SJ off the court. When it's J-Dub and Caruso, like, I would expect that team to struggle
When it's
offensively.
J-Dub, Hartenstein, Caruso, and Aaron Wiggins and Isaiah
Caruso,
Joe.
A little bit,
for
yeah.
a good part of the season, struggled to shoot. He figured it out recently.
Well, with those same lineups, SJ is like a plus 28.
SJ's maybe the
player in
best in
the
the
world.
world
Yeah,
this
but
year.
I think the point is that we
The gap
kind of we
is
expect
huge.
we expect OKC not to lose those minutes.
And we're
For
not.
a large
We're
part of the
also
season, they
forgetting
lost those
this
minutes.
is year 3. It's year 3.
I think the offense will struggle because you have shooting for sure, you have spacing for sure, but you just don't got much playmaking. You don't got a lot of guys that are putting the ball in the court and pressuring the rim. You know what I mean?
So
Like,
I think this is really where Riv's whole point is coming from, though.
Can you let Riv argue it?
But I feel like you're just being hard headed right now.
No,
Yes,
I'm
you
not.
are. Is he not being hard
I
headed?
admitted that there were points where maybe I was.
Riv, is this not your whole point though? Last year, the potential for J-Dub you thought was higher than it is at this point in time.
Yeah.
That's all. That's why his stock is down. He's not saying
that's-
it's.
that's-
Listen,
But if you
I do
encapsulate both the
think-
regular season and the postseason with what he's done, that I feel like it gets you to the result of no, he should be the player that he's been for a majority of this season.
I do think Riv was bold mentioning 3 all-star players.
Okay.
I wouldn't have had them, but I could see
Who's the
how.
third?
Well, Şengün, Scotty, and J-Dub, they're all 3 all-stars.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, Scotty made an all-star game.
Legitimately made an all-star.
Because All-Star games don't mean shit in the grand scheme of things. Like
I think in the NBA they do.